This is how big the hail is.
Over the past 10 years, the world has experienced a rather strange situation. Despite the increasing number and severity of climatic disasters worldwide, the territory of Russia and neighboring countries remained relatively stable until a certain point. Many were pleased by this, while many experts were puzzled. But since August 2023, everything began to change dramatically. Soon you will understand the reason for such sudden changes. We will start with a selection of climatic events from the past week, and then provide unexpected facts from a video that is currently gaining significant attention on the internet. It is suspected that due to this video, certain structures are slowing down YouTube in Russia. In this weekly review, we will show what happened in Russia over the past week. Chelyabinsk region. Since July 25th, the South Urals have been at the epicenter of natural disasters. A Caspian cyclone brought abnormal rains, hail, and squally winds reaching speeds of up to 25 meters per second to the region. In the Chelyabinsk region, the amount of precipitation over 3 days exceeded the 2-month norm, leading to increased water flow in rivers throughout the region. On the evening of July 26, the dam at the Kyalim Reservoir broke. Water rushed through a 100-meter breach into nearby settlements. The powerful flow was so strong that people couldn't open doors and windows in their homes. Many sought refuge on rooftops. In the village of Kyolim, water carried away a 2-story house with people inside about half a kilometer. It stopped only in the forest, caught by trees. Due to the dam break, the Kyalim Reservoir, which supplied drinking water to the entire Karabash district, was almost completely drained. Following this, another dam failed in the Etkul district. Several sections of highways were temporarily closed, and bridges were destroyed in the region. People were left without water and electricity. A state of emergency was declared in several districts of the Chelyabinsk region. Thousands of people were evacuated and 2 people died. In Chelyabinsk, a month's worth of rainfall fell in just 2 days. The Mayas River, which flows through the city, overflowed its banks and flooded several districts. A temporary accommodation center was organized for residents of the flooded houses. Just a few days later, on July 31st, a weather apocalypse struck the city. Local residents described it as hurricane-force winds, incredibly powerful rain, and hail that caused significant damage in minutes. Trees and street structures were broken, roofs were torn off houses, and windows were shattered. Republic of Bashkortostan. Since July 26th, heavy rains and thunderstorms have hit Bashkortostan. 3 districts of the republic suffered the most. Water levels in local rivers rose sharply within a day. In 23 settlements, homes and yards were flooded, and people had to be evacuated. In mountainous areas, the rain flood damaged 18 bridges. In the Ukali district, more than 30 kilometers of roads were washed away. Some settlements were accessible only by all-terrain vehicles, and boat and cable crossings had to be established for others. 2 nature reserves in Bashkortostan were completely closed to tourists. Authorities reported that such severe infrastructure damage hadn't occurred in the region for at least 20-30 years. Bezimianny volcano. July 24th, one of the most active volcanoes in the world, Bezimianny, on Kamchatka, released a column of ash 5 kilometers above sea level. The next day, it had an explosive eruption. The ash column rose 12 kilometers above sea level, and a powerful pyroclastic flow, a mixture of hot volcanic gases, ash, and rock fragments, descended the slopes of the volcano. The ash plume extended nearly 1,000 kilometers. A red aviation hazard code was issued for Bezimianny. Chukotka. The flooding situation in Chukotka turned into a real catastrophe. Entire yards and the first floors of houses were submerged. Even vehicles with passengers were swept away by the current. On July 25th, the Karelvim River overflowed due to torrential rains, flooding homes and roads. A state of emergency was declared in the Bilibino district, and more than 50 people were evacuated. In the city of Bilibino, people found out about the flooding only after it had already happened. Residents received no warnings or notifications. The entire city was flooded, roads were blocked, and people couldn't go to work. Employees of the Bilibino nuclear power plant who couldn't miss their shifts had to travel by Kamaz trucks, but even they got stuck due to the high water levels. According to long-time residents, such a situation had never occurred there before. Abnormal precipitation. In the city of Severokurilsk, abnormally heavy rains fell for 4 consecutive days, resulting in more than 2.5 months' worth of precipitation. On July 24th, a record for the daily amount of precipitation was broken. On July 26th, more than half the monthly norm of precipitation fell in the Zabaikalsky Krai. Record rains also occurred in Buryatia. On July 30th, a tornado was spotted in the Republic. A historical record for the daily amount of precipitation was set in Kurgan. In the Omsk region, more than a month's worth of precipitation fell in a single day. Western Siberia. On July 28-29, after abnormal heat, powerful storms with rain, wind, and hail hit the regions of Western Siberia. In the city of Barnaul in the Altai Krai, the rain was brief but very intense. The storm caused numerous destructions, the wind uprooted trees, and a tower crane was toppled. In the Novosibirsk region, the storm left more than 25,000 residents without electricity. In Novosibirsk, the bad weather lasted no more than half an hour, but managed to knock down trees, tear cables, and damage cars. The squally wind was so strong that it tore out a window frame from a wall and ripped off a balcony, whose debris fell on parked cars. Due to the torrential rain, visibility was reduced to 0. In the morning, due to heavy fog, more than 40 flights were delayed at Tolmachevo Airport. Yakutia. The fire season of 2024 in Yakutia has become one of the most challenging in decades due to early thunderstorms and abnormally high temperatures. A federal emergency regime was introduced in the region from July 1st. According to the head of the republic, 95% of the causes of forest fires in the region this year are related to natural phenomena. Many areas have not seen rain for 1.5 to 2 months. As of July 29th, 138 natural fires were burning in the Republic, and the area scorched by fire exceeded 1 million hectares. Smoke from the fires spreads for hundreds of kilometers, and residents of smoke-affected areas complain about air quality. More than 20 fires approached close to settlements. Republic of Dagestan. After torrential rains on July 28th, 5 mountain rivers in Dagestan overflowed, sweeping away everything in their path. Bridges, roads, and houses were washed away. 17 settlements were cut off from transportation. A mud flow descended onto a road in the Rutul district. People are massively complaining about water supply issues. Either there's no water or muddy water comes out of the tap. Due to accidents in the power grid, power outages affected 62,000 people in 130 settlements. In the Laksky district of Dagestan, a house collapsed due to heavy rain and hail, and around 100 cows were swept away and died as they fell from a slope. Moscow region. On July 28th, a person died from a lightning strike in Patriot Park in the Moscow region, and 3 others nearby were hospitalized. Volgograd region. Volgograd region. Large hail, strong winds, and rain hit the Volgograd region. On July 30th, hail the size of a plum caused serious damage to melon crops. Some farmers lost their entire harvest on hundreds of hectares of fields. Republic of Tatarstan. On July 30th, a severe storm hit Tatarstan. In Kazan, there was heavy rain with hail. The storm raged for only 15 minutes, but during this time, icy rivers and hail drifts formed on the streets. On the same day, Begishevo Airport in Nizhnekamsk was hit by a destructive tornado. The tornado scattered planes and helicopters on the runway, damaged a fuel truck, 3 buses, hangars, and an administrative building at the airport. Two people were injured. Republic of Karelia. Another dam failed to withstand the water onslaught this week. On July 29th, an accident occurred on the White Sea-Baltic Canal in Karelia. Due to the breach between the locks, an uncontrolled stream of water rushed into nearby settlements. Local residents reported that it resembled a tsunami. Houses were swept away along with people inside. As a result, 3 people died and 10 were injured. The accident on the White Sea-Baltic Canal in Karelia paralyzed navigation on the section between the White Sea and Vygotsero. Finally, as promised, we offer you the reason for the sudden changes in Russia. This is a fragment from a video that you can find on our channel. It is called The Crossroads.
The situation has dramatically worsened in Russia, with an alarming increase in natural disasters since the second half of 2023. What is the cause of this surge? As I have already explained in detail, the reason lies in the shutdown of specialized experimental equipment that operated in Russia from 2013 to August of 2023. This equipment was developed with the participation of scientists associated with the international movement ALLATRA. This equipment allowed the minimization of extreme climate phenomena. After the ALLATRA movement was declared undesirable in Russia, the operation of the experimental equipment was duly halted. The consequences were not long in coming. Destructive storms, abnormal snowfalls, and hurricanes in increased intensity began to attack Russian territories. Let's speak the language of mathematics. Look at these shocking numbers. The graph clearly demonstrates the amount of losses sustained by Russia's budget due to climate disasters from the moment the equipment was shut down in August of 2023 to the present day, July 2024. The total losses amount to 114 billion rubles. Now compare this sum of losses over the 11-month period with those over the 10-year period while the equipment was operational. Over 10 years, the losses amounted to only 191 billion rubles. Are you not alarmed that the economic damage over 11 months is almost equal to that of a decade? You have lost nearly as much in just 1 year as you did in the previous decade. This is not just statistics, it is the real-time devastation of your country's budget. Consider another fact. In 2022, the total losses from climate damage amounted to around 7 billion rubles for the entire year, while in 2024, a single climate disaster in Orenburg cost you 40 billion rubles. And this is just the beginning. As a result of halting the operation of the experimental equipment, countries neighboring Russia, China, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Eastern Europe nations have suffered immensely. A review of the climate news summary for 2024 in these countries reveals a dramatic worsening of the situation and significant economic damage. Torrential rains, abnormal hail, record-breaking floods, and winds destroying infrastructure, cities, and people's lives and causing severe budgetary losses. The equipment was installed in Russia because Siberia is a crucial hotspot for the planet's abnormal heating. Now that the equipment is deactivated, nothing is mitigating the situation, and it will only worsen in Russia and globally. The economic and social consequences will be so vast that they could lead to the complete collapse of modern civilization. And this is not a hypothetical scenario of a distant future. This is instead our reality in a few short years, if we do not take radical measures immediately.